Hi, I'm Zaid, one of the creators of Academy, the West Point board game. I'll walk you through the rules while my partner Sam demonstrates. Setup. Shuffle the competition deck and place it face down next to the board. Create space for a discard pile next to the competition deck. Shuffle each deck of training cards and place them face down onto their matching space on the board. Have each player choose a player card and take 4 cadets and 3 stars of the matching color. Players then place a star of their color on each 0 space of the score tracker. Have each player draw 2 physical, 2 military, and 2 academic training cards to form their starting hands. Have the player who last visited West Point place the section marcher card next to their player card. If no player has visited West Point, have each player roll a die, and the player who rolled the highest number places a section marcher card next to their player card. Shuffle the event deck. Draw 4 event cards and place 1 face up on each year's event space. Return the remaining event cards to the game box. Events will change how each year is played and will take precedence over any rule in the rulebook, but they only apply for 1 year. If this is your first time playing Academy, we suggest playing plebe year without an event. If you want to play a shorter game, play only 3 years instead of 4. Place the year tracker pawn on plebe year. Getting started. The objective of Academy is to have the most combined physical, military, and academic points at the end of 4 years. As you gain points on each pillar, you will move your star up the corresponding score track. Each year has 4 phases: competition setup, cadet placement, competitions, and cleanup. Phase 1, competition setup. During the competition setup phase, draw competition cards from the competition deck one at a time. Place them onto a location matching their pillar on the board. Discard a competition if both of the locations matching its pillar have been filled. Place competitions until there is 1 more competition in the number of players on the board. In this example, we're playing a 4-player game, so we place 5 competitions. Phase 2, cadet placement. Starting with a section marcher and proceeding clockwise, each player takes a turn by placing one of their cadets on an open space on the game board. If you place a cadet at Daly Field, Cadet Barracks, or Jefferson Hall, you draw cards of the corresponding pillar. If you place a cadet on a competition, you will compete in that competition in the next phase. If you are the first player to place a cadet at a competition, you immediately gain 1 point in that pillar. Phase 3, competitions. Once all cadets have been placed on the board, players face off in the competitions they chose to enter. Competitions are resolved in numerical order, starting with Mikey Stadium and ending with Thayer Hall. To resolve a competition, all players in the same location as the competition select up to 3 training cards of the pillar matching the competition. Once the training cards are selected, players simultaneously reveal their cards. Each player adds the value of all training cards they played, and the player with the highest total receives the first place award shown on the competition card. The player with the second highest total receives the second place award. The player with the third highest total receives the third place award. If multiple players have the same total, the cadet closer to the front of the line at that location wins the tie. You'll notice that some of the training cards depict items and have extra text. These cards are called item cards and can be played as normal training cards during a competition, or discarded at any time to use their special effect. Remember that if you chose to use the number on the card during a competition, you do not get the special effect on the card. Phase 4, cleanup. After all competitions have been resolved, move the competition cards placed this year to the discard pile. Have each player collect their 4 cadets from the game board. Move the year tracker to the next year and have the section marcher pass the section marcher card to the player on their left. Proceed to the competition setup phase and continue playing until you have played all 4 years. Scoring. After 4 years have been completed, award 3 points to the player with the most points in each pillar. If multiple players tie for the most points in a pillar, they all receive 3 points. In a 3 or 4 player game, 3 points are subtracted from the player with the fewest points in each pillar. If multiple players tie for the fewest points in a pillar, they all lose 3 points. The player with the most points at the end of the game becomes the Valedictorian and wins the game. In the case of a tie, the player with the most training cards in their hand wins. You now know everything you need to know to play Academy, the West Point board game. Consult the rulebook for any clarifications, and have fun.